Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, we're going to be doing the top 5 tuner cars in Grand Theft Auto Online Part 2. This is coming out after the Tuners DLC has dropped in Grand Theft Auto Online, so you can probably assume there's going to be a couple cars from the DLC on this list. There's also going to be a couple cars from before the Tuners DLC on this list. Anyway guys, without further ado, let's get right into number 5. Alright guys, at number 5 we have the Mazda Penumbra. Now the Mazda Penumbra is on this list because it has a lot of customization that you can actually do to it, and it's quite a cheap car. It's a car that you can literally get for free off of the street or is available for purchase on Southern San Andreas Super Autos for $24,000, which is pretty cheap, all things considered. As you can see with mine, I've done all kinds of crazy customization to it: the wing, the rear diffuser, the side skirts, the front bumper, the grille, the roof, and there's even more customization that you can do to it than that. This car also features liveries and several other things to make it unique and make it your own. Now the reason that this car is at number 5 on the list is because its performance is pretty weak. Very unfortunate, but this thing is quite a slow vehicle. It's in the sports category, which means, you know, you're definitely not going to win any races driving this thing. That's for sure, which, you know, is a true shame, but it did come out all the way back in 2013 with Grand Theft Auto when it first released. So can't really expect it to be, you know, one of the fastest cars in the game anymore because obviously it's, you know, 8 years old now pretty much. Anyway guys, definitely I think that this thing deserves to be at number 5 on this list. I think it's a super underrated car. I almost never see people driving these things. I think the last time I actually saw someone driving it other than myself was probably all the way back in like 2015. So it's definitely a super underrated car. It's a car that you can take to car meets and you will definitely get some love and some attention for sure. You're definitely not going to beat anyone in any races though, unfortunately. Anyway guys, let's move right into number 4. Alright guys, at number 4 we have the Elegy RH8. Now the Elegy is completely free in Grand Theft Auto Online, as I'm sure everybody knows. You can get it on Legendary Motorsport, you can get it on Benny's. It's a free car. It has a lot of great customization that you can do to it. Obviously, you can also turn it into the Elegy Retro Custom, which is one of the most customizable cars in the entire game. So, it's a pretty good car. This version of it is obviously based off of an R35 GTR. It's got quite a few different options you can do to it. It has some hood options, it's got front bumper options, side skirts, rear diffuser, spoiler, roof, all kinds of, you know, pretty cool options that you can do to it. The reason that it's at number 4 is because it is a lot faster than the Penumbra. I think the Penumbra actually probably has more customization that you can do to it, but this thing is definitely the better performer, that's for sure. The RH8 actually handles super well. It's just overall a really good car, and especially for literally free, you cannot go wrong with getting an RH8, and it doesn't cost that much money to upgrade, probably a maximum of like 250,000 all things in. It's a great car, and for the price you just cannot go wrong. Like literally it's a free car. So, you know, not that you guys didn't know that. I'm sure everyone watching this video knows about the RH8, but definitely recommend picking one of these things up if you don't have one already. Anyway guys, I think that's pretty much it for number 4. Let's move right into number 3. Alright guys, at number 3 we have the Jester Classic. A very obvious choice for the tuner cars list. The Jester Classic fits right in. This thing is definitely one of the more customizable cars in Grand Theft Auto Online. As you can see, obviously with just mine, you can see the front bumper, the intercooler, the grille, hood, roof scoop, side skirts, everything. This thing's got everything. You can change it all. You can make it look as crazy as you want to. You can make it look as tame as you want to. Mine is sort of a clean, like, you know, sleeper build. Obviously it's a Supra, so, you know, it's got 10 trillion horsepower. It's the fastest car ever made. Obviously it's a Supra. The only problem is that in GTA, the Jester Classic is very slow. Now I've added this car to the list based on its customization that you can do to it. And trust me when I say this, for no other reason. Because this thing's performance in Grand Theft Auto Online is terrible. The Jester Classic was released in the After Hours update in Grand Theft Auto Online. And with the After Hours update, for some reason Rockstar decided that all the new cars that they were going to add in that update should feature a little thing called engine resistance. Now engine resistance basically takes a car, says, you know what, you're a good looking car, I like you, you've got a lot of customization, you should be really fast, shouldn't you? And then after it says that, they say, you know what, no, never mind, we don't think you should be very fast. Basically, engine resistance reduces the power output of a vehicle's engine in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm not sure the exact figure by which it reduces it by, but it's quite a bit. So you'll notice when you drive cars like the Jester Classic or the Entity XXR, which also suffers from this same thing, that the engine sounds like it's revving way up and you should be going like absolutely flying. But in fact, you're not, because of engine resistance. Basically, the sound file is still there, like you're actually going to be moving quickly, but the engine power just isn't there, which is literally terrible. And I hope that Rockstar one day will actually fix this and make the cars that came out in the After Hours update actually good. It would really make my day. So Rockstar, if you're watching this video, please, for the love of God, fix the engine resistance cars. It is literally close to a crime against humanity to do this to us. And if I think that, just imagine what the superfans are thinking of that right now. They're dying. They've been dying for years. So please, Rockstar, it's time to fix this. Anyway, guys, sorry about that little rant. Let's move right into number 2. Alright guys, at number 2, I have a car that I know you're probably shocked that is on this list. That is the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire. Now this thing's obviously based off of a Dodge Challenger Hellcat from real life. And before you say, that's not a JDM car, it can't be tuner. Hellcats are definitely a very tunable car in real life. And so is the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire in Grand Theft Auto Online. You can modify this thing like crazy. I've got mine done, you know, pretty subtly. I know it's got all the racing stripes and everything on it, but you can make this thing absolutely insane. It's got rear bumper options, it's got spoiler options, it's got skirt options, it's got front bumper options, grille options, headlight housing options, all kinds of stuff. You can make these things absolutely crazy, and I definitely think that this is deserving of being in this spot and on this list. This is the first muscle car that I've included in this list because I don't think there's any other muscle car that's more deserving than the Gauntlet Hellfire. I'm sure that I will add more muscle cars to this list in the future, but for right now, this seems like a good starting point. Now, I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that the Gauntlet Hellfire will outperform pretty much any of the other cars on this list. I know it will outperform 2 of them, maybe even all 3 of them that were behind it in a straight line race at least. Obviously on a track with, you know, corners, the Hellcat is a muscle car, so, you know, the Hellfire is a muscle car after all, so probably not going to win, but it will definitely be very quick on the straightaways. As far as muscle cars go, definitely not the best handling one in the game, but definitely could be a lot worse. It's very manageable, but you can also make this thing drift like absolutely crazy. You can do fat burnouts in it. Obviously, you can do a burnout into any car in GTA pretty much, but you know, this thing really feels how I imagine a Hellcat would feel in real life if you were driving it with your foot to the floor all the time. I think that Rockstar's captured what a Hellcat would feel like, you know, pretty well in Grand Theft Auto Online. Obviously, it's not going to be as fast or anything like that, but I think they've definitely done a good job. And I definitely think that this car is deserving of being on this list. It's got pretty good performance, it's got decent handling. You know, it's a muscle car. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it for number 2. Let's move right into number 1. Alright, guys, and at number 1, we have the ZR350 or the RX-7. Obviously, the RX-7 in real life is pretty much a tuning car, you know, legend. The rotary engine, a bit sus, kind of brakes a lot, but definitely the RX-7 is a platform that a lot of tuners, you know, would love to work on if they can't, and tuners that do work on them do love them. The RX-7 just got added into Grand Theft Auto Online, obviously with the Tuners DLC, and I think it is a great addition to the game. I've been driving mine a lot, and I actually love it so much that I've bought 2 of them. So I have one that looks like this, obviously, and another one that looks different. These new Tuner DLC vehicles have a absolute ton of customization that you can do to them. This car has a splitter option, a bumper option, a radiator option, a hood option, hood catch option, roof scoop, skirts, wide body kit, spoiler, diffuser, everything that you can pretty much think of that you could do to a car, you can do to this thing. Now the ZR350 also has pretty decent performance. A lot of people don't really like how it handles. A lot of people say it's not that fast, it's not this, it's not that. Personally, I think the ZR350 is a great car. I think it handles very well if you know how to drive it. It takes a bit of getting used to, that's for sure. The first time that I drove it, I didn't know what I was doing either. But now that I've driven it quite a bit, I feel like it is it's definitely a pretty good handling car, and it's overall a very good performing car as well. I would definitely absolutely recommend picking up a ZR350 350. I'm sure 90% of you guys probably already have one, but if you don't, definitely save your money and try and get one for sure. Anyway guys, I think that's pretty much it for part 2 of the top 5 tuner cars in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of my list. Did you like it? Do you disagree? What cars would you pick? I want to hear it. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, if you learned something. Give this video a dislike if you did not. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.